Well, Carlos, I would be remiss because last time we talked, you didn't think Ndamukong Suh would be back, and you were right about that. So I'm just wondering your general impressions on how the Lions handled that whole situation.
Well, I think that I think the my overall the short story is I think that the Lions mishandled it in one way is they should have just backed up the Brinks truck to his house like early last year, like in January. As soon as the season was over, the next day they should have just sent a truck over there and said, "How much do you want? Sign a blank check. You're our guy." And I think they treated him like another player, like a high-profile player. But you know, here's an offer, and well,
You can
first,
take it or leave it.
well, yeah, they kind of played a more like a normal negotiation. And there were a lot of different factors. He switched agents and things like that, but they should have made it very, very clear from the start. We are going to sign you. You are going to name your terms. Um, at the end of the day, I don't believe he wanted to stay here, though. I really don't think he. I think he wanted to see what his value was going to be on the open market. I think he wanted to be courted a little bit. So a lot of factors went into it, but I think the only thing the Lions could have done better is I think they could have just been unequivocal about how much they wanted him to stay and that they would have been willing to overpay him. At the end of the day, all the stars get overpaid for sure. And then in retrospect, in 5 years, it looks like jump change. Like, what? 50 million? That was peanuts. So $100 million in 2015, in 2020, it's going to look like $10 to us now. So, I think that's the only thing the Lions kind of misplayed a little bit. But I don't know if they would have even if it would have made a difference. But, just knowing him a little bit, I thought he wanted to be the star and go down there. And he is. He's going to be their savior, to some extent, and a star and the leader and all that. And he'll get what he wants, and the Lions will have to find a way to make up for
Move
him.
on. Yeah. And just finally, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the hottest topic in the NFL about the future of Tom Brady and his 4-game suspension for the Deflate. What are your general impressions on that issue as well?
Man, that's getting ugly now. The whole thing with the Patriots and their response to the Wells report on their website, and you have to remember this about the NFL is it's a small club of billionaire owners, and it's a very tricky, incestuous relationship because they basically hire the commissioner. The commissioner essentially represents 32 billionaire owners, and the way that this has all gone down, and that I think that they came down pretty hard. I think Goodell came down pretty hard on the Patriots and Brady. This is the gleaming franchise of the NFL, and Robert Kraft is one of the most respected gleaming examples of NFL ownership. And he, for lack of a better, to put it crudely, he hired Goodell in a way. So, they've been friends. So there's a lot of issues there in play. That there's betrayal. I think that Kraft feels on some level. I think Goodell, on another level, has just been so overly taxed on the whole, player problems last year with Adrian Peterson and Greg Hardy. And I mean, he's taken a lot of heat from the media and from fans about discipline issues and personal conduct issues. And, I mean, he's making $20 million a year. So he's not going to quit. When people were wondering if he's going to quit, are you going to quit a $20 million job? No, you're not.
Probably not. No.
No, but he'll get fired. He would like to be fired and take a settlement, probably. I mean, I think that might be in the works. So, or in his mind. So I don't know if he's doing all this because he figures, hey, maybe I just need to be a tough hammer, and if the owners want to get rid of me, then yeah, they can buy me out, and I'll be on my merry way and not have to deal with media issues anymore. It's got to be taxing. So I think that I don't think this is over. I think that there's going to be an appeal. My initial thought was that Brady got a 4-game suspension, that it would be reduced to 2.
True. Yeah.
But the way that the Patriots are acting and that their response, they've attacked the NFL and Goodell to some extent. I don't think that sets up well for their appeal. So I don't know.
Surely not Brady because Goodell is the hearing officer for his appeal.
It's weird, isn't it? Like I say, it's incestuous. It's not really, it's they act like a court of law, but they're not a court of law. So I don't know. I don't think that at the end of the day, if they, I don't know what his backup Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know how good he is. He never gets to play, so who knows? But if they win one of those 4 games with Brady out, Brady's going to come back and he's going to go throw for 500 yards his first game back. I mean, that's the kind of tough competitor he is, and it would just be perfect, wouldn't it, that the Patriots win the Super Bowl? So
It's set it up that way, isn't it? No.
It is. So I think you're going to see a little bit more drama. I don't think it's over yet. NFL is a little bit tough, but the Patriots, they're not taking it lying down. I think we'll see a little bit more. I will say this, and this is my little conspiracy theory. All the stuff at Deflategate, we're not talking about personal conduct issues. We're not talking about draft players. We're not talking about Lyle Collins and dead babies or girlfriends. There was a lot of distraction. There was a lot of bad publicity coming into the NFL draft with this. These are guys who hadn't even been in the NFL yet, and they were already in trouble. A lot of questions about their conduct, and so this is definitely taking the heat off of the NFL players and some of their bad behavior for a while at least. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good distraction for the league overall.
I'm Kevin McShan for the Two-Man Advantage Podcast.